Hi, my name's Barbara Barker, and I write plant-based cookbooks, and I teach plant-based cooking classes. And today we're going to have the candy class, and I'm going to teach you how to make healthy granola, because the granola, this is the finished product, is going to be the main ingredient in the sugar plum or fruit truffles that we're going to make after the granola. So to start with, we're going to have 1 cup of organic rolled oats. You can buy granola at the health food store, but the last time I checked, the granola was $9 a pound. Organic rolled oats are $2.50 a pound. So as they say, do the math. The next thing in the granola recipe is a teaspoon of ground ginger, a teaspoon of cinnamon. These should be pantry staples for everybody. And you can mix that in a little if you want to. If you like to mix things. Most people like to mix things. Then you need a little bit of salt, like 1/8 of a teaspoon in a tablespoon of water, and I mix it together so that I don't have any kind of granular salt in here. Then the next thing you want is, and I know it sounds like a lot, 3 tablespoons of maple syrup, but maple syrup is sap from a tree. This is 100% maple syrup. There's no sugar in it. It came directly from the tree. So it's actually it's a superfood, as is rolled oats. Next is your vanilla, about a teaspoon of vanilla for good flavor. And I'm kind of mixing after each ingredient. And then the last thing is a tablespoon of tahini or almond butter. Tahini is ground sesame seeds. And sesame seeds are a superfood because what they do is they actually keep our hair from thinning as we age. And I think everybody would be interested in that. And so this just gets mixed in a mixing bowl. See what I'm doing? That's what it looks like. It's kind of gooey, but you're going to put it on an aluminum foil lined baking sheet with parchment paper, just for easy cleanup and so it doesn't stick and make a big mess. And all you do, once you get it sufficiently mixed, is you just pour it on your baking sheet and put it in the oven. Now this is a little bit different than most baking because this one only goes at 300 degrees so that you don't burn it, because this is easy to burn. So you want 300 degrees for 35 minutes. And you just kind of spread it around so it doesn't glump up. So if it's like that, you want to get it in as much of an even layer as you can for the baking. So again, it's 300 degrees for 35 minutes. And when it's all done, then it looks like this. It's all crumbly and crunchy and ready to sprinkle on a parfait. Well, what we're going to do with it today is we're going to make what I call sugar plums, or they can also be called fruit truffles. Should have opened that before I started out. This is 1 cup of your ground granola. You take your granola like this, and you either grind it in the food processor or You can even put it in a large baggie and just roll a rolling pin over it because it'll go to crumb pretty quick. I don't know how well you can see that. So it's crumbs, granola crumbs. And then the next thing is I have some ground or chopped dates. You only need a couple of tablespoons of this. I had to bring my whole package because I didn't really remember what I was doing. So anyway, those are the dates, the ground dates, and now you can either put dried chopped apricots, or you can make it easy on yourself, because when you put the dried fruit that's just chopped, you have to process this in a food processor or it won't come together. If you don't want to use the food processor and you just want to stir things in, then you can use this. Is kind of a new product. This is the new type of baby food that they're putting out these days, because instead of the ground or chopped dried apricots, you can put this is peaches and apricots and bananas, and you only need like about a teaspoon or a tablespoon of this, because if you put too much of this, then everything's going to be too wet. So you only need a little squirt of that, and really the only reason that you need the apricots is to take away that cloying sweet taste of the dates. So then you mix that, and then you need a little bit of your cinnamon, not a lot, and then you need to bind it all together. You're going to need a teaspoon of maple syrup, and it might look dry, but as you mix it, it will come together. And you just, you can put in a pinch of nutmeg if you like. I don't really care for the taste of nutmeg, but if you like it, you feel free to use it. You might need a little bit more of the apricot to get it to go. But if it gets too wet, then they get too soft, and that can be a problem. So then I'm going to put another squirt of this just to get it to go. Or you could use water to get it to make, you want it to be a real soft dough. So once you get it to a dough, you can once you get it to a dough, you can that was Chloe the cat. I guess she doesn't like sugar plums. So once you get it to a soft dough, to where it's going to sort of hold together, you take them out, and this recipe is in book number 1. I call it book number 1. It's actually, there. I guess the cat doesn't like truffles. It's a high tea cookbook, and the reason that I made these fruit truffles to begin with was that I was looking for some kind of easy, sweet treat that I could offer at the end of a high tea. And once you get the sugar plum, you can roll it. I did have some gloves, but once you see it sticking together like this, that's your truffle. And then you roll it in I'm going to roll these in almonds. I'm only going to show you, this makes about 12. I'm only going to roll about 4 of them, maybe only 2. I'm going to roll it in ground almonds because one time at a high tea, I rolled these fruit truffles in cocoa powder. And what happened was a lady at the high tea was eating the truffle, and instead of putting the whole thing in her mouth, she took a bite, and the cocoa powder went all down the front of her blouse. And I don't know how much cooking you've done with cocoa powder, but when it gets on your clothing, it's a permanent stain, as is cinnamon is a permanent stain also. Forgive my hands, but I did have gloves, but I thought I wouldn't need them. So I thought I could roll this with 2 spoons, but it's a little dry, so it's not going to roll with a spoon. It needs the pressure of your hands to bring it together. So forgive my hands in the mix. And then you see, this is ground almonds, and they're ground up very finely, so it's easy to roll them. I don't know if you can see that. It's easy to roll them in the ground almonds. You could use chocolate sprinkles. You could use your ground up granola. You could use ground up dates to roll them in. Anything that grinds up to a powder that you like. And in case you're wondering, what are sugar plums? They're a candy made from fruit and nuts that they serve during the holidays. I think it started over in Europe. And remember, when you bring somebody something sweet, they will remember you forever with kindness. So I want you to remember you are valuable, and I want you to please take care of yourself. And this is what the finished truffles look like. Thank you.